Hi guys, it's amazing how we receive so little news about how things are going in places like Northern Ireland or Gibraltar. But we can rely on our good friend Sammy Wilson to keep us informed. So last week the Spanish border authorities closed the frontier with Gibraltar. This resulted in the administration there doing the same. The incident lasted a few hours, but it was an example of the level of chaos that could have happened but was avoided post-Brexit, and that a solution needs to be found. The people of Gibraltar never wanted Brexit, like the people of Northern Ireland, but sadly are stuck with it. Sammy, of course, avoids the reason why the Spanish authorities closed the border when he went on a bit of a rant in the House of Commons on Monday. Have a listen.
There's no doubt about it. Last week, the Spanish authorities sought to hold the British people of Gibraltar hostage by putting on border controls and disrupting their travel. And one shouldn't be surprised at this, and I know that the members opposite try to deny it. There is a connection between what happened in the Chagos Islands last week and the aggressiveness of the Spanish authorities and the EU this week. And the EU have learnt a lesson, not just from this government, from the last government. When it comes to wanting to put their footprint on British territory, British governments successively, whether in Northern Ireland or now in Gibraltar, have shown that they're willing to concede. Can the Minister give us an assurance that she will not be giving in to the bullying and the bribery and the attempts by the Spanish government and the EU to once again put its imprint on British territory?
Minister. Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I'm afraid I have to wholly reject the claims made by the honourable member. Buyout is a unique agreement. It's based on the unique history and circumstances of Buyout. That has absolutely no bearing on the wider UK government policy regarding our other overseas territories. It's not just, if I may say so, the government that's stating that. It's also people living within those overseas territories who are very clear about the party politicking that has gone on around this. The United Kingdom will never enter into arrangements under which the people of Gibraltar would pass under the sovereignty of another state against their freely and democratically expressed wishes. We could not be clearer about that.
Okay, so what's the problem here? The problem is that Sammy Wilson is trying to inject the situation with the Chagos Islands into a situation completely separate in Gibraltar. And notice he injects Northern Ireland into it as well. So what's the issue with Gibraltar? So after Brexit, Britain, of course, left the European Union, and there had to be a border between British territory and European territory. Now, when it came to Schengen, Spain is part of Schengen, but Gibraltar was not. So in order to get over the problem of having to carry out checks on people crossing the border between Gibraltar and Spain and Gibraltar, Gibraltar became part of Schengen. Now this eased over this problem, but it was a temporary solution until something more robust could be put in place. Now, the Spanish authorities have said the UK government has until the 10th of November to sort this out, because new checks, I believe, EU-level checks are going to come in. So they need to have a robust solution between Spain and Gibraltar. And it seems the UK government has been dragging its feet, and the Spanish authorities decided, it seems the Spanish authorities at the border on their own, the Spanish government seems to be denying it, but at least the authorities on their own acted unilaterally in closing the border. And then the Gibraltar administration reacted in the same way and closed the border to Spain. So there was a bit of chaos for a few hours. Now this is, it seems, to put pressure on the UK government to come back to the table to resolve this. This was started by the Tories, and it's another thing that the Labour government have to resolve. Picking up the pieces, cleaning up the mess after Boris Johnson and the Brexiteers. Now, Sammy Wilson doesn't care about Gibraltar. He doesn't care about any other place. He's trying to inject Northern Ireland into this by saying this is a land grab. Look, the Spanish government can apply borders as they see fit. You know, they're a sovereign nation. If they say we want to close our border with Gibraltar, they can do that. Now, of course, it's not the right thing to do. They have that right, but it's not the right thing to do, because it of course, creates chaos, and it disrupts an agreement that they had with the European Union and the UK government when it came to Gibraltar and the border. But it seems that the UK government is dragging its feet. It has other bigger fish to fry, of course, but it has to deal with issues like Gibraltar. And perhaps this is the Spanish authorities, either with the consent of the government or not, putting pressure on the UK government to come back to the table and iron out this issue. It has to be resolved permanently. We can't have these stopgap measures, because it just creates a problem that's kicked down the road until the next crisis. And the people of Gibraltar and the people of Spain deserve a little bit better than that. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.